Hello, today we have got a video, we've got Civilization Restart, we've got episode 2, and last episode is really long, and I hope that this episode will be a bit shorter, but I can't guarantee anything. Alright, so first thing that we're going to see happen is that Tunisia is finally going to be discovered by the Egyptian team, along with Sicily, and immediately both areas are going to be claimed because the Egyptian team isn't just going to leave them there. I mean, this allows into the continent of Europe, so they like that. And the Turkish team, seeing this, they're like, we can't let them do that, so they're going to kind of explore a bit down there and eventually link up and take all of this Adriatic Sea bit. I don't know, they're just going to explore right under the Alps. And, they're also going to get Corsica. And eventually, with the help of the red team, all of it is discovered. That's kind of what it looks like. Blue team gets all of that. Plus Corsica. And red team gets all of that. Now, the blue team, just because they don't want... they kind of hate the red team at the moment because of the whole Crete situation. They're still kind of mad about that. So they're also going to take Sardinia. And that's just... basically, the red team and the blue team are kind of, not in very good relations. They don't really like each other. But on another note... But anyways, we're going to see that Caspia is going to, now they've conquered the whole Caspian Sea... They could go, over here, or, upwards, or outwards, over there, whatever. They could do all of that. Or they could do this, which is what they're doing. And they go down and reach, the Persian Gulf, I think it is. I know, they don't want yellow team to, get any of that, so, bam. Oops. So yeah, the green team has officially expanded downwards. And Kokistan, which is what I'm officially calling this, because it's near the areas which places are called Stan instead of land or ear. That's in the Caucasus Mountains, so, them and Turkey just kind of gonna invade Crimea because they don't like that it's a oligarchy. These are both ruled by, an aristocracy and a diarchy. So yeah, we see an invasion, and the other team is going to be oh yeah, we should get Crimea here, but the blue team kind of puts a stop to this. Oops, reverse that. They kind of put a stop to that because they're just no, this was ours first, and then you made them switch ideologies. So we're going to take all of Crimea, and most of it. And in this peace treaty, we just see that this is kind of what happens. And yeah, the team is a bit annoyed about it, but, can't really do anything about that. And Turkey is not stable at the moment. They've got two kings, both want drastically different things. And we see a division happen with just, Greece and all the west of the blue team break away. Their team, eldest son, rightful king. And then we see, I just don't want to have that. And then we see just this bit be Turkey and be okay, we're team youngest son then. And obviously this means that we have this change from a diarchy to a monarchy. Then over here in Greece, we see a different monarchy. And these guys are on pretty bad conditions, despite being, brothers and everything. But no, they don't like each other, so yeah. I'd say right now Turkey is probably stronger just because this is really where, the population centres are. It's all around there, and then, they've got a fair bit there, but That's like more historical, and more people kind of live in the Turkish regions. And yeah, so like Greece is going to be like expansionist, like for their dreams. They want to like go down. I mean, they don't really know about any of this. They just kind of want to expand outwards, whatever. Well, Blue Team is kind of like isolationist, and the whole reason they broke up was because of the Crimean War. It was because of the war happened in Crimea, because it dampened relations with the yellow team, which was already at an all-time low. But also, like, they didn't want to go to war. But Greece and all these guys who followed the eldest son were like, yep, let's invade them. It's rightfully ours, let's go invade them. And, like, yeah, Now, Kokistan, obviously, they're kind of annoyed that didn't get all the Crimea, So the Blue Team does a bit of expanding, can't fall behind too much. But, for the most part, it's kind of just the Yellow Team, which is expanding. Okay. And they kind of go, like, just upwards. I mean, they don't really have anywhere else they could go. They could go south, but they don't really like the desert. They kind of like this, like, grass and woods and whatnot. So they're just going to cut their losses here. And they're going to take all of that. They're also going to take that from the green team, because I was looking weird. From the lime team. From Caspia, I should say. I have it written down as the countries instead of just the colours, and I still call them by the colours. But, this Israeli team, they decide that going through the yellow team wasn't enough to reach the green team. They haven't fully achieved this. So, yet again, they meet for peace with another country, splitting it less down the middle, but just keeping the order. And this time it's the green team. The green team goes there. And apparently Israel is just amazing at convincing people of stuff. Because we officially see, like, the final oligarchy fall over to aristocracy because of Israel. Caspia has changed. And we're kind of entering, like, an era of, like, kings and, like, powerful groups. Because, like, we've got, like, two monarchies here. Like, a theo-monarchy, and then just three aristocracies. What it was called. But yeah, seeing this, Egypt is like, oh, well, I don't want to fall behind the times, and, let's become a theo-aristocracy. But then they're like, wait, that wouldn't really work. And by this time in the belief, they finally give up on the belief of, like, believing that the gods whatever within the children of the monarchy, they just become the aristocracy. They just kind of worship the gods, and then just, one person. Like, the original royal family still kind of gets that, but now there's more people who are, like, leading. It's just overall better for them. And Israel is going to continue their expansion, as they're going to expand a bit more outwards. The red team is also going to do the same. Red team's also going to expand a bit downwards, through the Nile or whatever. But yeah, they're going to kind of take, like, all of, like, Somaliland. Like, I don't know why I'm telling you on inside. Like, those kind of regions. No. Right. And they're also kind of, like, take some of the coast of Yemen. Finish off the, like, Horn of Africa, like, the top of the Horn of Africa. And they take all this land that they've explored. Because why not? And Israel is massive right now. Like, massive. And, like, Israel, big now. And with this, the red team is also pretty big. But, like, Israel also doesn't really have many enemies, apart from maybe, like, the Turkish team. but that doesn't really count, does it? Well, actually, it kind of does, but we're not going to talk about it. We're going to see that the green team is going to go downwards, like southbound, capture Qatar, capture like some Irani, like Persian Gulf territory or whatever. Just, capture all that. And they're looking kind of big right now. They're way beyond just being Caspia, Like, yeah. And like, Greece is going to go on a massive expansion quest. They're like, hey, we need to explore more. So, explore more they do. As they discover more of the Balkans, which could become a problem later because the Balkans all hate each other. They might try to break away. Blue team explores a bit, but they're not going to claim any of this. And while also expanding out into Italy, they decide to just keep running along this coast until eventually they reach, like, Iberia. And this is massive, so the red team hears the news, and they immediately start kind of going over to them. So they continue down, they, like, cross over to here, start discovering southern France. And then, like, we've just struck gold, we've gotten another peninsula. So, they're pretty joyous about this. But before they can kind of, like, finalise anything and take over the peninsula, we see that the people who were living here, like the natives, and also just some people who didn't really care about this, they're like, nah, we don't want you to take that. We're just going to start our own base here. And rightfully so. The pink team's like, what? No, you can't do that. So they try to fight it, but there's really no use. And eventually these are the borders that are made after the big fight. And we have an orange team yet. Nope. So these guys form an Iberian country. And pretty quickly they also expand down into here, maybe just cut off any red team that was going there. So the red team kind of stops their explorers, and they just take what they found. And so this was all not supposed to go to the Italian team. So I'm just going to cut up there. Say that to the isolation this, just felt like taking that, and call it a day. And, yeah. So, they stopped the Greek expansion, Iberia. They meet up with the red team, and with the help of the red team, and also just their hate for, like, the monarch system, since they don't really like the green team. I'm just going to give them all of the Iberian Peninsula. With all of, like, this, we see that, we see that they become an aristocracy, which I need to do now. So yeah, and the era of aristocracy is very much kicking off now. Like, that's what it's going to be called in the history books, because everyone's an aristocracy apart from Greece and Turkey. But apart from that, everyone else is an aristocracy. So I'd say the era of aristocracy has started. And Greece, like, all the Greeks were warmongers, and they were like, yeah, we need to take over all of, like, what is current day Europe. But after the embarrassing situation in Iberia, they're kind of like, yeah, we don't really like our king, So they decide to kick out their king, and they go into a different party, which hasn't been, like, established yet. And it's like a, like, aristocracy, kind of. I'm just gonna hide that for now. Yeah. But there's also, like, if we go on the blue, maybe look up, like, I'm just gonna call it, like, a publicist, where they where it's like a group of people who make the final decisions, but like they also, I don't know how to say it. Like, it's just like I really don't. It's kind of hard to explain. Like, it's an aristocracy of all the people who make the final decisions to decide what happens, but they, like, listen to the people. It's like, they kind of just, like, go around asking some people, and then that kind of, like, leans into what they're going to pick. So if all the people, like, say something, and it's, like, a, like, 70% to 30% ratio, then they're going to go with the 70%. But if it's, like, a 3 to 47, they're probably just going to go with whatever decision they think is best. So, yeah. That's kind of what it is. And now we only have one full monarchy left. Next time you see this map, there'll probably be, like, some changes. So I'm gonna, like, add counties and, like, capital cities. Maybe not, like, major cities yet. But, you know, just counties and capital cities. Because, you know. And after that, I mean, I don't know, but I'll probably just add major cities and then, like, some other stuff, like stability, technology, relations, whatever. So, yeah. Bye.